Do you still trust Joe Manchin?
Was he negotiating in bad faith, sir?
Mr. President, is Build Back Better dead?
How are you going to get your agenda passed through Congress, sir?
Sanders, Chairman Sanders, Senator Manchin says he can't get there. This is a no. He's tried everything. What's your reaction?
Well, I think he's going to have a lot of explaining to do to the people of West Virginia, to tell them why he doesn't have the guts to take on the drug companies and lower the cost of prescription drugs, why he is not prepared to expand home health care. West Virginia is one of the poorest states in this country. You got elderly people and disabled people who would like to stay at home or forced into nursing homes. He's going to have to tell the people of West Virginia why he doesn't want to expand Medicare to cover dental, hearing, and eyeglasses. I've been to West Virginia a number of times, and it's a great state, beautiful people. But it is a state that is struggling. And he's going to have to tell the people of West Virginia why he's rejecting what the scientists of the world are telling us, that we have to act boldly and transform our energy system to protect future generations from the devastation of climate change. You know, what's going on now, Jake, in Washington is the big money interests are pouring hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars to make sure that we continue to pay the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs, that the rich do not start paying their fair share of taxes. And I would have hoped that we could have had at least 50 Democrats on board who have the guts to stand up for working families and take on the lobbyists and the powerful special interests. We have no Republican support. Now, one Republican in the United States Senate, or the House for that matter, is prepared to stand up to the drug companies or the insurance companies or the wealthy. I would hope we would have had 50 Democrats. But if that is the case, then I hope that we will bring a strong bill to the floor of the Senate as soon as we can and let Mr. Manchin explain to the people of West Virginia why he doesn't have the guts to stand up to powerful special interests.
It's also a team of aides in the White House that's really prized itself on keeping its head down and its focus on the mission and not be distracted by outside noise. And I think that goes to show just how angry they were. This was a deeply personal statement, and it mentions that it mentions Joe Biden's home in Wilmington. It mentions the fact that Manchin personally gave his word to Joe Biden, his longtime friend. The two men get along well, and there was reflective of a sense of betrayal here. That yes, as to David's point, it's been a dance, and they feel like they have some moments and not others. One of those moments they thought they had him was earlier this week when Manchin came to the White House, as we've reported today, and talked to Biden, shook the president's hand, and said, look, here's a deal I can live with. And it's about the same total cost, about $1.8 trillion. To be clear, there are some components that needed to change, but it wasn't a full rewrite. And the president, as we reported, left that meeting telling aides, he's like, look, we've got work to do, but we can get this done at some point in the first month or two of 2022. We still feel like there's a deal at hand. So to go from there on Tuesday to Sunday to have Manchin suddenly be a flat no, and not only a flat no, but a flat no on Fox, felt like it was an angry, digging, sort of almost putting salt in the wound there for the president. And that's why Joe Biden was so angry yesterday.
All right, Congresswoman Bush, thank you very much for coming to the Sunday show. Your reaction to the news announced by Senator Manchin.
So, first of all, it is not a huge surprise. We have been, and let me be clear, there are 6 of us who had been saying this all along. Representative Ocasio-Cortez, Representative Presley, Representative Tlaib, Representative Bowman, Representative Omar, and myself. We have been saying this for weeks that this would happen, and we took the hits. We were told that we were anti our caucus, we were anti-democracy, we were anti this and that, when actually what we were and what we still are is pro the people, because the people have to be first. The people have to win. And so when I think about this no, this was a no all along. And so what we had was a bit of leverage, which was having the coupling of the two bills, the BIF, the infrastructure package, as well as the Build Back Better Act. Having those coupled together was the only leverage we had. And what did the caucus do? We tossed it, and for me, it's really, it's sad. It's sad for us to say, let's look good instead of being good. Let's look strong instead of being strong. Let's look like we have a win instead of actually having a win. You know what makes us look good? What being good.
Peace and love, everyone. Congressman Bowman here. I'm sure you all heard the news from this morning that Senator Joe Manchin is a no on the Build Back Better Act. As many of you know, this is something we saw coming for quite some time. We didn't trust Manchin to pass Build Back Better unless we had the infrastructure framework as leverage. So now here we are. Here we are in a situation where, everything is on the line of being out.
Well, I think what Senator Manchin did yesterday represents such an egregious breach of the trust of the president. And it's also, this is exactly why it's an outcome that we had warned about well over a month ago, about needing to plan a contingency plan for it. It's why we insisted on having the bipartisan infrastructure plan coupled and passed together with the Build Back Better Act.
But the president and Senator Manchin agreed on a framework. It was months of negotiation because we held up the infrastructure bill. We were able to get that agreement moving. We got the framework that, as you remember, Jake, was rolled out the day before the president went to, or the day that the president went to Europe for COP26. That is the framework that had the commitment. And I think that, it's not, I don't think it's accurate to say we're very far apart. Or that they're very far apart. I think that there are some details that need to be worked out. I think there was a commitment that was made by Senator Manchin to the president about that framework. And I think now the question is, what about making sure that this legislation is what that framework was, plus what of the things that have been agreed to beyond that can be incorporated. So I don't think we're very far apart. I just think that this is the back and forth of negotiation. I think we're going to get it done, and I think we are counting on the president to deliver on this. We are counting on the president to deliver on this. We are counting on the president to deliver on this.
Mr. President, your reaction to Joe Biden?
Do you still trust Joe Manchin?
Was he negotiating in bad faith, sir?
Mr. President, is Build Back Better dead?
How are you going to get your agenda passed through Congress, sir?